Chicago rolled out the red carpet for Angel Reese, crowned her the Chai Barbie, and promised fans a dynasty. But 2 seasons later, the same arena that once chanted her name now echoes with groans every time the ball slips off her fingertips. How did the league's most hyped rookie become the face of Chicago's biggest gamble gone wrong? And why is the clock now ticking louder than the applause ever did? Back in Baton Rouge, she was untouchable, a 6'3" force who swatted records the way most forwards swat flies. Angel Reese's 34-game tear at LSU ended with a championship trophy, a Most Outstanding Player plaque, and a nickname, Bayou Barbie, that lit up every social feed within seconds. When Chicago snatched her with the 7th pick, the narrative practically wrote itself. Here comes the double-double queen to drag the sky back into title talks. She wasted no time proving the hype had teeth. Night after night in 2024, Reese churned out 13-plus points and a league record 13.1 rebounds, crashing the glass like she'd taken me-bounds as a personal challenge. 10 straight double-doubles? Check. The fastest rookie to 400 boards in WNBA history? Also check. By midsummer, local billboards flashed her grin, replica jerseys vanished off shelves, and home attendance spiked as if someone had flipped a switch labeled Hope. Chicago's front office could practically hear the cash registers ring. Pair Reese with a towering rim protector in Camila Cardoso, mix in a veteran floor general, and, on paper, the Windy City suddenly had a skyscraper-tall blueprint for contention. But blueprints don't win banners. Execution does. And as the Sky doubled down on their new franchise pillar, they were about to discover what happens when promise collides head-on with pro-level pressure. But Chicago's gamble would turn out to be bigger and riskier than anyone realized. Chicago didn't just draft Angel, it built a whole blueprint around her. The front office gutted last season's playbook, hired rookie coach Tyler Marsh to run a faster inside-out offense, and paired Reese with 6'7" rim protector Camila Cardoso, two towering pillars meant to choke passing lanes on defense and feast on second-chance points on offense. Billboards splashed downtown with glitter-pink Chai Barbie graphics, season ticket packages sold out in days, and every media day answer circled back to one promise. Angel's motor would drag Chicago back into the finals conversation. Then reality bulldozed the marketing plan. 10 games in, veteran floor general Courtney Vandersloot shredded her ACL, leaving the new-look Sky without a real orchestrator. Marsh's motion sets sputtered, possessions dissolved into frantic isolation, and opponents packed the paint, daring Reese to finish through double teams she'd never seen at LSU. Chicago's scoring average nosedived to a league-worst 90.1 points, and whispers started surfacing that the franchise had spent more energy printing posters than polishing fundamentals. But that was only the first crack in the glass, because the numbers that leaked next would paint an even uglier picture. The breaking point slammed into the locker room like a steel door in a storm. Minutes after another double-digit loss, Chicago's GM, Jeff Pagliocca, strode past the cameras, yanked the doors shut, and fired off a verbal sledgehammer. "Angel, we need more or we make moves." No sugarcoating, no group therapy tone, just a raw ultimatum that cracked the silence and left the rookies staring at the floor. Word spread that he replayed her 5 blown layups on a tablet, each miss looping like an alarm bell. How many free points can a contender afford to burn? Teammates studied their shoes while vets clenched their jaws. Someone muttered, "Practice footage says it all," and a hush swallowed the room. Reese, usually the loudest voice, absorbed the blast stone-faced, a towel draped over her shoulders like a white flag she refused to wave. But as Pagliocca's footsteps faded, the tension stayed. A couple of guards swapped glances. Different rules for the franchise face? And the air felt suddenly thinner, every bounce pass the next day loaded with suspicion. Outside those walls, reporters smelled blood. Leaked snippets of the tirade lit sports radio on fire, callers asking if Chicago's Chai Barbie was really a mirage in mascara. Inside, a tougher question echoed off cinderblock walls. Can hype survive accountability? Because the next 48 hours would fling that private reckoning into the public square, and a fan base already teetering on frustration was about to tip into outright fury. The internet struck back with a roar that drowned out the Wintrust Arena boos. Within hours of Pagliocca's locker room blast, fan forums morphed into digital pyres, hashtags like Aurikwa, Fire the Baby Giraffe, and Wukakwa Trade Reese Now. streaking across timelines faster than any highlight ever had. Talk show hosts dissected her shot chart like a crime scene. One analyst joked that Chicago should install a no-layup zone beneath its own rim, because at least then every miss would be on purpose. National podcasts piled on, contrasting her tumble with Caitlin Clark's meteoric ascent in Indiana. One rookie was rewriting record books, the other was rewriting the definition of sophomore slump. Ticket holders vented in real time. Every blown bunny drew a chorus of frustrated groans, and by game's end, a familiar chant rattled the rafters. Not our star. Local papers ran side-by-side spreads, Clark's triple-double glow-up beside Reese's 2-for-12 disaster, while rumor sites claimed the Sky were already dialing rival GMs, gauging interest in a high-motor rebounder who just needs polish. Angel's mentions flooded with memes. Bricks sprouting wings, layups orbiting the moon, mock-ups of a construction vest stamped, under construction since 2025. Yet the fiercest blow landed off-court, where a marketing darling suddenly looked like a sinking investment. Sponsors yanked social posts, waiting to see whether her appeal was bulletproof or bubble wrap. Influencer pages that once celebrated her fashion collabs quietly swapped thumbnails for safer, trendier names. The backlash wasn't just loud, it was expensive. And while the timeline combusted, Angel found no refuge in the locker room. Whispered gripes about double standards hardened into outright questions. Why does the franchise face keep her minutes while role players ride pine for smaller slip-ups? Lines were being drawn, patience was thinning, and unity felt like a rumor from last season. But the storm outside was only half the story, because Angel's off-court calendar, packed with photo shoots and brand launches, was about to dump gasoline on an already raging fire. Angel's calendar had more glitter than game film. 1 week after that viral brick montage, she skipped a voluntary shooting session for a sneaker launch livestream filmed under neon ring lights. 2 days later, a spring brand photo shoot ran long, bumping her recovery lift to optional, a word vets claimed they'd never heard under previous regimes. Whispers turned into side-eye when an agent leaked that Reese's endorsement income had already eclipsed her rookie contract. Suddenly, every missed layup felt like proof she'd practiced hashtags more than hook shots. Then came the social media crossfire. A since-deleted post from former teammate Kalia Copper shaded box score influencers. And although no name was tagged, the comments section filled in the blank faster than you could double tap. Reese fired back with a cryptic, "Keep my name out your mouth" reply, fueling 2 days of podcast fodder and spawning hundreds of stitched TikToks. Meanwhile, coaches juggled media questions about brand balance while replaying practice film that showed her legs heavy and her finishes flat. Sponsors loved the clout. The locker room didn't. One vet muttered that every ring light appearance cost them 1% off the win column. Another suggested pulling her phone at the door, a joke that wasn't really a joke. The tension peaked when a scheduled team bonding dinner clashed with a downtown meet and greet. Angel chose the meet and greet. The Sky chose to take note. And as the noise grew louder than the results, the GM's phone started buzzing. Not with influencers, but with rival executives sniffing at a blockbuster nobody thought possible 6 months ago. Trade whispers became thunder overnight. League insiders leaked that Chicago had quietly floated Reese's name to half a dozen franchises, dangling a high-motor rebounder with untapped upside in exchange for a proven scorer who could steady the offense. Rumor sheets traced calls to Dallas, Atlanta, even a blockbuster 3-team framework that would ship Reese west and bring a veteran sharpshooter to the Windy City. Front office analysts pored over salary grids, cap exceptions, and deadlines, while talk radio hosts debated whether a mid-season gamble could salvage a 3-9 start. Inside practice, the message was even starker. Minutes aren't guaranteed. Coach Tyler Marsh closed a film session by sliding the rotation chart across the table. Blank spots where Reese's name used to sit inked in pencil now, not pen. "Production buys playing time," he said, and nobody missed the subtext. A hard cap of 20 minutes loomed if her finishing didn't spike by the next road trip. A DNP coach's decision wasn't off the table. Yet amid the trade buzz, a single bright flash cut through the gloom. On June 15th, against Minnesota, Reese uncorked an 11-point, 11-rebound, 13-assist triple-double, second youngest ever in league history. The feat reignited front office debate. Maybe the raw materials still justify the investment. Maybe the Chai Barbie just needs a sharper edge. But one game can't silence a month of doubt. And the Sky's 3-game West Coast swing now reads like a final audition, because the next chapter will decide whether Angel stays in Chicago or boards a one-way flight to basketball exile. The season's turning point arrives on a hostile West Coast swing, and every stop feels like a verdict waiting to be read. First up, Los Angeles, where the Sparks shot blockers smell blood in the paint. Then Seattle's roaring home crowd, notoriously unforgiving to struggling stars. Finally, Phoenix, a franchise hunting wins and headlines in equal measure. 3 games, 5 nights, 1 mandate. Finish or fade. Angel boards the team plane with her triple-double stat sheet folded in her pocket like a lifeline. But she knows the math. One flash won't erase a month of miscues. Marsh drills her on quick-release hook shots. Assistants load her phone with film clips of Candace Parker's touch around the rim. Meanwhile, Pagliocca reminds reporters that production talks louder than potential. Translation: the trade window doesn't close just because you filled the box score once. Inside the locker room, teammates walk the thin line between belief and fatigue. Vets offer quiet fist bumps. Rookies glance at the rotation board, calculating their minutes if she stumbles. Off the court, sponsors hover, press releases half-written for either breakout redemption or blockbuster relocation. Even Angel's mother tweets a single clock emoji. Time, it seems, is everyone's theme. So she tightens her laces, tucks the chatter behind a hard stare, and steps onto the practice court where every layup is counted out loud. The rim might still feel like a moving target, but the stakes have never been clearer. 3 arenas, countless eyeballs, and a franchise's faith balanced on every bounce. One road trip to prove that the Chai Barbie isn't just a billboard icon, but a backbone. And if she can't, the next flight might not land back in Chicago at all. They called her the Chai Barbie, a walking headline who could bend the future of a franchise with a single rebound. But hype only buys time, and in Chicago the sand is almost gone. 3 West Coast arenas will decide whether Angel Reese is the pillar of a dynasty or the punchline of a cautionary tale. And the scoreboard won't wait for merch sales to catch up. Because in a league that measures greatness in rings, not retweets, confidence without conversion is just an echo in an empty gym. So what's louder, a season's worth of bricks, or the sound of a star finally snapping into form? The answer clock's in starting tonight, and when it does, the Windy City will either roar in redemption or blow the dust off a brand new rebuild. Which side do you think wins? Drop your verdict below, smash that subscribe button, and buckle up. Because whichever way this story finishes, the sequel's already writing itself.